Well, good, very late evening, folks. Brian here on Saturday, June 1st, 2024. So, while you were all distracted by your current political situation down south, or you're watching the Middle East developments, or you're watching all the weather, something happened that most of you are probably not aware of. Something that happened about 4 days ago. Member states, approximately 169 countries, agreed to the amendments of the World Health Organization health regulations. Implementations or amendments, which are going to have drastic changes over everybody's rights and freedoms. I'm going to go over some of them. Before I do, if you want to know more about them, Dr. John Campbell on YouTube has covered this extensively. There are over 300 amendments to the regulation. I'm not going through all of them, only the important ones. So I'm going to start off by saying the pandemic emergency is a communicable disease that has a wide geographical spread or has the risk of becoming one and has exceeded or could exceed the ability of the national health systems to respond to it effectively. Also defined as an outbreak is one that could cause substantial economic or social disruption and requires quick international action by one governing body, by one person. So this is a revision of the existing health regulation. It's not a new one, it's a revision, which has some far-reaching impacts. And just because you're an American or you're a Canadian, don't say, oh, my country didn't agree to it. Bullshit. I suggest you start checking with your local representatives, even though they had no say over it. Only the government leaders decided. This was not put out for public vote. This was not put out for discussion in Parliament. So as of approximately 4 days ago, when the World Health Assembly met, all this will become law and enforceable approximately 1 year from now or sooner. Or in other words, at 1 year at the latest. The World Health Organization Director General, Dr. Tedros, who is not a doctor, who is not an elected official, now has sole authority in decision-making or the following situations. He may or may not consult with his own people. Listen up. Article 3 is now removed. Article 3 did state, the implementation of these regulations shall be with full respect for the dignity, human rights, and fundamental freedoms of people. That no longer applies. Therefore, during the next pandemic, you will not have any dignity, rights, fundamental freedoms. This is what it means. Before I continue, it requires that each country state shall set up national bodies for the enforcement of whatever the Director Tedros says. Also removed is Article 9, which states, before taking any action based on a report, who shall consult with and attempt to obtain verification from the state party in whose territory the event is allegedly occurring. They no longer have to do this. He no longer has to do this. He and he alone can determine what is happening in your country and my country and the other 167 countries. Article 10. Article 10. Do not have to take into account the views of individual states, such as I just finished stating. Article 11, all information first goes through the World Health Organization, so they will decide what's best for me and you. It will no longer be the decision of your government and my government. Federal, provincial, state, local. The World Health Organization, and solely the Director General Tedros, can decide the following. Remember, he doesn't have to consult with anybody. He will obviously be receiving information from his own people. Can decide the parameters of a pandemic or endemic or a local medical situation. He and he alone can decide when and where to impose lockdowns and mandatory medical interventions. The Director General now has the authority to decide if there's an emergency or the potential for an emergency. And listen up on this one. This treaty also includes animals and the climate. Do you understand what I just finished saying? The World Health Organization, the Health Treaty, now governs animals and the climate. Bird flu, infected chickens, cows. Expect the following also to occur. Global digital health certificates for travel. They also have the authority to instruct countries to produce the substance for systemic circulation. Britain, Canada, the United States, and Australia haven't waited. They've already made or constructed their facilities for the production of the substance. It's all part of the plan. They will also make it a criminal offense to spread, by their definition, disinformation. If you say anything against them or the treaty on the internet, for example, that's now a criminal offense. Let me add on what I see coming. So initially, people had to get the double jab before they can travel. I can see this now that boosters will be mandatory. This is also going to include federal jurisdictions over transportation. Ferries, for example. Here's another one. I see this one coming. The World Health Organization is going to say, in order to prevent the spread of any, you have to have your 2 or 3 or 4 jabs. You have to have your digital certificate on your phone to get onto public transport systems. Buses, subways, SkyTrains. Not just international air travel, domestic air travel now. Crossing from one state into another or province into another. Here's another one I see coming. Your child will not be able to go to school until they have been repeatedly jabbed. And so on, and so on, and so on. Passed by consensus by the member states a few days ago. That's what happened. Which will formally become law between now and 1 year. If they see something is about to happen or planned to happen before 1 year, they'll make it become law sooner. Don't say or tell me, well, I'm an American or I'm a Canadian. Oh, no, we didn't agree to it. Bullshit. Yes, they did. They agreed to it. Go through your own chain of political systems to confirm this. So how far are you going to get in life? Remaining clean. But what if that national security force outside your door says, well, that one guy and that one guy only says that you had to have this and we're here to forcibly give it to you. What are you going to do? The one person from Ethiopia who is not a doctor, who was not elected, can make the decisions himself. Check it out for yourself.